a new leader in Iran, a sharp political response from Donald Trump, and a world asking the same question: are we entering a new phase of geopolitical tension? Recent comments and political signals from Trump appear to directly address Iran's new leadership, raising concerns about how relations between Iran and the United States might evolve. Is this simply political messaging or a warning about deeper strategic conflict? Tonight we'll break down the situation, the history behind it, and what it could mean for global stability. Whenever leadership changes occur in major geopolitical rivals, tensions often rise. And in the case of Iran, the position of Supreme Leader holds enormous influence over the country's direction. Recent developments surrounding Iran's new leadership have quickly become a topic of discussion in global political circles. When Donald Trump publicly addressed Iran's leadership in recent remarks, analysts began asking important questions. Was this a political warning? Was it part of a broader strategy? Or was it simply rhetorical positioning in a larger geopolitical debate? To understand this moment, we need to examine both sides of the story. Leadership transitions in Iran carry significant international implications. The Supreme Leader is not just a symbolic position. The role oversees critical areas, including national defense, foreign policy, strategic military planning, long-term political direction. For decades, Iran's leadership structure has centered around Ali Khamenei. Any shift in leadership or political messaging can influence how Iran approaches the rest of the world. That's why the international community closely watches every statement coming from Tehran. When a new leader communicates policy priorities, it provides early signals about the country's future strategy. Donald Trump has long been one of the most vocal critics of Iran's government. During his presidency, he pursued a policy often described as maximum pressure. This strategy involved economic sanctions, diplomatic pressure, and strong political rhetoric. Trump argued that such measures were necessary to counter Iran's regional influence. His critics, however, warned that these policies risked increasing tensions in an already volatile region. Now, with a new Iranian leader emerging, Trump's recent comments appear to continue that confrontational tone. But what exactly might he be trying to signal? In international politics, public statements often carry deeper strategic meaning. When a prominent political figure addresses a foreign leader directly, the message is rarely aimed at just one audience. Instead, it can target multiple groups: domestic voters, international allies, rival governments. Trump's comments could therefore serve several purposes. They might reinforce his long-standing political stance toward Iran. They might also send a signal to regional allies about continued opposition to Iran's policies. At the same time, political rhetoric does not always translate directly into government action. Understanding that distinction is crucial. Iranian leadership traditionally responds to external pressure with strong emphasis on sovereignty and independence. Statements from Tehran often highlight the importance of protecting national interests. Iranian officials have repeatedly argued that foreign pressure will not influence the country's strategic decisions. At the same time, Iran's leaders typically balance their responses carefully. They seek to project strength while avoiding unnecessary escalation. This balancing act has defined much of Iran's international strategy over the past several decades. Another key player in this geopolitical situation is Israel. Israel has long viewed Iran's regional influence and military capabilities as major security concerns. Israeli leadership frequently emphasizes the need to monitor developments involving Iran very closely. Because of the strong relationship between Israel and the United States, political statements in Washington can influence regional calculations. This triangular dynamic between Iran, Israel, and the United States is one of the most complex relationships in global politics. Whenever strong rhetoric appears in international politics, one question quickly follows: could tensions escalate into something more serious? History shows that rhetoric alone does not always lead to conflict. Often, strong statements are part of negotiation strategies or political positioning. However, prolonged periods of tension can increase the risk of miscalculation. That's why diplomats and analysts carefully monitor these situations. Even small signals can influence how governments respond to one another. Around the world, governments are watching this situation closely. Countries across Europe, Asia, and the Middle East understand that tensions involving Iran and the United States can have global consequences. Energy markets, trade routes, and international alliances can all be affected by instability in the region. For this reason, diplomatic channels often remain active behind the scenes during periods of heightened tension. The goal is usually simple: prevent escalation while encouraging dialogue. Looking ahead, several developments could shape the direction of this story. First, future statements from Iran's leadership. Second, political responses from the United States and its allies. And third, possible diplomatic efforts aimed at reducing tensions. Geopolitical situations like this often evolve slowly, but early signals can reveal important clues about long-term strategy. For now, analysts around the world continue to watch closely. The evolving relationship between the United States and Iran remains one of the most important geopolitical issues of our time. Statements from influential figures like Donald Trump and responses from Iran's leadership can shape global perceptions and political strategies. But the future of this situation remains uncertain. Now I want to hear from you. Do you think these political signals represent serious geopolitical tension? Or are they mainly strategic messaging in global politics? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Respectful discussion is always welcome. And if you want clear, in-depth analysis of global politics and international tensions, make sure to subscribe and stay tuned for our next update.